everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We'll be starting shortly. We can just wait maybe a minute or two to allow others to join. So maybe whilst we wait for others to join, we can just have people introduce themselves, tell us where they're joining from. So I'll just say out the name. Yeah, and then you just tell me your name, where you are joining from, if that's okay. If you can turn your video on, it's fine. If you cannot, that's still okay. So I will start with Rodesha. So you can just unmute yourself.
Okay. So hello everyone. I'm Nodisha Maingehama and I've connected from Mount Pleasant. I'm 19 years old.
Okay. Mount Pleasant. Where is Mount Pleasant?
Oh, Mount Pleasant in Zimbabwe.
Oh, lovely to meet you, Nodesha. Thank you for joining. Maybe we can have Diane. I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly. You can just unmute yourself. Diane, can you hear me? Hi, Messi. I see you've commented in the chat box all the way from Malawi. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, we also have Chanda. Can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself and tell us where you're joining us from?
Good morning or good afternoon, based from where I've seen this from. My name is Chanda Mushidingo and I'm joining from Fuila, Zambia.
Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a very impactful session. We have Tanda.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Hi, maybe let me just have my camera on briefly. Hi, my name is Ntanda Mandui. I'm joining from Mangochi, Malawi. I'm the founder of the Health Foundation. So glad you could join us.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you. So you can just keep on introducing yourself. I'm seeing Queen all the way in Zambia. You can just comment in the chat box. We want to know where you're joining us from. If you've got a friend that wanted to join in on this session, please just send them a WhatsApp message, tell them to join. You can share the link. But I think in terms of us being time conscious and, you know, making sure that we finish on time, I think we can start and then everyone that can join whilst we've already started. So I'll start with introductions. I'll introduce myself and then introduce Girl Up, and then I'll leave the platform to Abigail and her team, and then we can move ahead. So my name is Nyashamzazi, and I'm the programs coordinator for Girl Up in Africa. So Girl Up in Africa is a United Nations Foundation initiative that focuses on girl empowerment. So we focus on an array of advocacy areas with a bid to achieve gender justice. We realize that girls and women are lagging behind in terms of opportunities, in terms of their rights being prioritized. So we focus on making sure that we empower girls and also stand up for their rights in terms of education, sexual reproductive health and rights, mental health, leadership development, as well as mentorship. So we work on a club model basis where girls can start up clubs within their regions, within their universities, high schools, and then they speak global that are affecting them on a daily basis, and they're supposed to create solutions. And I'm glad that on this platform we've got a number of club leaders. We also have just members, Girl Up members who are part of the Girl Up community. And today we are here because we want to advocate about online safety as we are celebrating the International Day of Girls in ICT. And today I just want to say the internet has once been celebrated for its potential, to connect, to empower, and to educate young girls, women, and everyone across the globe. But it is very unfortunate that it has become a battleground where the safety and dignity of women are under siege. Women are being harassed online. Women are being extorted online. And the statistics are very, very staggering because according to numerous studies, women are disproportionately being targeted for various forms of online harassment, like I've mentioned earlier, including cyber stalking, online abuse, non-consensual sharing of intimate images. I know this has been one of the burning issues. I know, especially in my region, Zimbabwe, where we are having young girls having their sex tapes or nudes being leaked online. So today, this session is quite important so that we open up your mind. We also teach you how to protect yourselves whilst you are using the online safety and where this world is going. It's all about the internet. We are doing business. We are doing our school online. So now more than ever, we need to emphasize the importance of online safety. And I hope we're going to do an immaculate job in making sure that we show you ways on how you can be safe online. And if you're not part of the Girl Up community, I would urge you to visit www.girlup.org and be part of a vibrant community that is empowering girls and standing up for girls and women across the globe. And it is my pleasure that today we have an amazing partnership with TAR Foundation as well as Digital Skills Africa to bring this program to you. And I hope this would be the first of many collaborations and partnerships where we are empowering you and protecting you from an array of, things that are threatening our dignity as girls. So thank you so much for joining, and I hope you stay joined in up until the end of this program, because I promise you it's going to be very impactful. It's going to help you so that you can also help fellow community members or even your friends and your relatives. So over to you, Abigail. Thank you all so much. Abigail.
Yes. Thank you so much, Nyasha.
You're
I
welcome.
hope you can hear and see me.
Yes.
All right. So my name is Abigail Zingani. I am a business development associate from TAR Foundation. I'm so glad to be a part of this beautiful session where we can all come together and protect each other as one community. Today's I would like to share with you mainly about how we can navigate the digital space safely. So I have prepared a short presentation which we'll go through together, and I will explain in details on how we can be able to survive and to protect ourselves from this harsh world online. So like I said, I'm from TAR Foundation. We also aim to innovate and empower women and teach them mainly about how to succeed in this digital space. So I'll just share my screen. I'll just go straight to the presentation. So I'll turn off my camera. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see it now.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you. So um, today I'll be talking about how to be safe online as women and girls, and how to basically navigate the digital world safely. So my presentation is mainly about understanding what exactly online safety means, um, and that is basically the overview of everything that I'm going to be talking about. I'll be talking about how to remain private and to maintain security. I'll also be talking about how to stay safe when using social media. And I will also talk about relationships and dating online. And lastly, I will talk about how we can report any issues that we encounter when we see ourselves in danger online. So I'll start with the introduction. So basically, in as much as the internet was brought into this world to make life easier and to connect each other in a way which we can communicate with each other, it's very unfortunate that people have decided to use it wrongly in a way that it has specifically targeted women, because I think uh, they view us as vulnerable, and we're most likely to be exposed to so many risks that come from being online, especially things like stalking, cyberbullying, just like Nyacha mentioned. So this presentation is basically just going to give you everything that you need to know to not be that girl, to not be that person that is vulnerable or targeted. It will open your eyes. I hope it will open your eyes in a way in which we can be able to stand out and resist this unlawful and harmful activity that comes from being online. So the first step is to introduce you to what online safety is. So online safety is basically all the activities or the practices that you can use that will protect you from these harmful activities online, and all the risks and all the threats that come from being online. So it's very important that we stay safe while using the internet online, because like I said, people think we are vulnerable. It's very easy for women to be embarrassed just because of everything that they shared online, just because of being online. We should not have the fear to be online because of the risks that come up with it. So, like I said, we're aiming to help you build resistance against the harmful activity that comes with being online. Um, So firstly, I'll talk about privacy and security. So privacy is mainly protecting yourself, creating a shield in a way that people won't be able to target you so easily. So it's very important that when we're using the internet or when we're online, we keep our things private. So most of the strategies that we use when we're being private is we protect our personal information. So our personal information, this is very important details that, for example, people can use to identify you and to identify anything that is involved with your personal life. So mainly, I'll talk about the strategies that we can use to protect ourselves and our personal information online. Now, the first thing that we should do when we're online, everywhere that we go, when we visit online, we're most likely going to create an account. And when we create the account, we need to have a password. So even when you have your phone with you, the first thing that the phone, like when you turn on it, when you buy a new phone, the first thing that it offers you is to create a password, create a PIN. Passwords are so important because it protects you from unwanted users accessing your data. So mainly when you're creating a password, it's very important for your password to be very strong. And right now, out here in the digital world, I think people have identified that many people are getting are being attacked because of the use of weak passwords. That's why people have created algorithms and forms of forcing you to create a strong password. Sometimes you can be trying to create a password and then the website doesn't allow you. It says no, add a character, add a symbol, add a number, add a capital letter, add a small letter. It's forcing you. We have added an encryption method that is forcing you to create strong passwords. So mainly, the aim is to force you guys to get used to it, make it normal for you to say, okay, when I'm creating a password, it should be strong by all means. So I'll give an example of a user. In this case, her name is Grace Peary. I will just zoom in so that you guys can see clearly. Right. So yeah. So we have a user called Grace. Her surname is Peary, and she's deciding to create a password for herself. So these are the passwords that she's created. The first one is her name, which is horrible. That's a very horrible password to have. And then the next one, we have 12345. That is like one of the first things everybody would try to guess. 12345, quad zero or 5 zeros. That's an example of a very horrible password that you can make. And it shouldn't even be the first thing that crosses your mind in this digital age, because that means you don't care about your account. That's literally the first thing that anybody's going to guess. And then the last thing that people usually like to make as their password is their name and their year of birth, which is also very bad because anybody can guess that. So many people have used that now that it's become one of the first guesses that anybody can make when creating a password. So normally you can find a way to change this in a way that it makes sense to you only and not an outside user. So for example, I've recreated the first password that Grace made, Grace Peary. So in this case, we have her name is still Grace Peary, but we have changed the A in Grace to be an at, the E to be a 3. And in that case, nobody would say, okay, maybe Grace Peary has decided to make the A an at. Let me try. That is like that's a very far-fetched guess, if you ask me. So yeah, another example is the one of her surname and mixing it with her date of birth. But in this case, we've changed the I's to exclamation marks. That's also something that nobody would guess just by a blink of an eye, you know. And lastly, the other example that I have is here in Malawi, usually Grace is translated to Gire. So Grace, we've just changed it to Gire, but the I in Gire is an exclamation mark as well. And we have changed the zeros into capital letter O's. That is a very strong password. Nobody can guess that. So besides these ones, you can also choose to name it something that nobody would guess. For example, I myself, I can choose to say, okay, my favorite color is magenta, for example. So I'll make my password magenta, for example, 1995. Nobody is going to guess that. So that is a very good example of a strong password that you can create when you're creating passwords, especially for accounts that have very serious and very important information about yourself and your personal life. This involves your Google, your Microsoft, for those who use Microsoft, your Facebook, your Instagram. Those are the type of passwords that I would suggest that you should be using. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is two-factor authentication. So two-factor authentication is basically an extra layer of security on top of the normal password that we have talked about. So in this case, two-factor authentication means you are either merging two devices to be linked together in a way that, okay, if I log in on my computer, it should bring in a notification on my phone, you know. Fine, you got the password correct, cool. But is it really you that got it? Maybe sometime back you were in a friendship or a relationship where you guys decided, no, let's exchange passwords. And then now this person has the exact correct password. They log in. Now they're in. You know, this is especially important for those people who share personal data like that. In this case, if they log in, it will send you a notification and say, no, Abigail, are you trying to log in right now? So you need to confirm that. So it's very important to activate two-factor authentication in mostly your social media platforms. All social media platforms offer that right now. If you do not use two-factor authentication, I suggest that you use it right now. You turn it on right now. It adds a layer of security to your personal account. Yeah, so two-factor can be a different device. It can be using an email. It can be using a phone number. So when you log in, you should confirm for the second time that, okay, yes, it is me logging in. If you notice, Google is very serious about its authentication. Even when you log in, it's going to send you an email like, this person logged in from this location at this time. So I really love that about Google. They're so serious about authentication, and it's always snitching. Google is just always snitching, telling you, this person is trying to sign in and this is what's going on. The next step is to avoid phishing scams. So most of the attacks in phishing, okay, let me start by explaining what phishing is. Phishing is when you log into a website and then that website is asking you for personal details and you just put them there and you're in. Maybe you're trying to sign up for most of these funny websites. You sign up and then next thing you are hacked. For example, on Instagram, someone will send you a text message, no, follow this link, I should share you $50, and you click the link, it's telling you to sign into your Instagram account, and it's like, why am I doing that? I was already signed in where I was. Why should I continue signing in for the second time? Those are some of the things that most of us fall into a trap to. And it pains me so much when I go on Instagram and I see someone's account is now posting, these Bitcoin things. Those are usually the ones that hack us personally. There's people doing trading and Bitcoin, and it's like, no, I can't believe this person fell for that. And most of the time, it's because you did click on a link. That doesn't just happen to anyone for no reason. Your account was not secure enough. You did not put two-factor authentication. Your password wasn't strong enough. And maybe you just clicked a link and it took you to a site and you just entered your register details like that. So usually to identify a phishing scam, you need to check the URL. The URL is the www that you see on when you're searching for something, that part. That is the URL. You look at it nicely. Does it look legit? Does it look serious? Most of these links have funny names like gobaby.com. Why would you be trusting yourself to put your personal details on a link like that? So you need to check that. And another thing is, when you're in a website, when you go to the end of the website, there's usually a copyright. You should always check for a copyright. At the bottom of the screen, there should be a link that describes when the company existed, what it was created for, some sort of legitimacy that can make you trust the website and say, okay, this really does exist. Another thing is to Google the company. Find this website says it's gobaby.com. I'll go on Google and I'll say, okay, Go Baby, search Go Baby. If it doesn't bring me something that makes sense, that means that website is not legit. I cannot be putting my personal information into that. So it's very important to double check always what exactly you're signing up for. Even if it's it's promising you to give you money. We know the economy is tough, but guys, please, let's not fall into this short get money quick scams that are going online. This is a phishing attack, and you should be able to identify it just by looking at the website. Also, many websites that have these ads that just pop up one by one, they come in groups and they flood your screen. The moment you see that, leave as soon as possible. So most of the times they're just crowded with ads and links. It's very important that you leave as quick as possible, because those ones actually have some serious phishing attacks that even come with viruses. Those are the ones that make your computer slow for no reason. So, you need to make sure that in your browser, if you use your browser, make sure you block ads. You block ads when your Chrome gives you a notification saying this person is trying to pop up, pop-ups have been blocked. That is a very good example of how you can see that, okay, this site has so many. You see Premier Bet this side, and then an online dating, and then the other side, it's taking you to a pornographic site. Those are the sites that usually come to fish your personal data. So we should really avoid those at all costs. The last thing that I'm going to talk about in terms of protecting your personal information is a virtual private network. So we also call it a VPN in short. So a VPN is a tool that helps you to encrypt your internet connection. So encrypting, I mean, it transforms your connection in a way that it's not easily accessible to an outsider. So let me say it in a way that you guys can understand. When you use a VPN, or for example, when you sign in, actually, this point is very important now that I think about it. When you go outside and you decide someone's Wi-Fi is on and you decide, oh, this Wi-Fi is free, let me connect. You connect. What you don't know is that you are exposing yourself. You are exposing yourself to the risks that come with joining that Wi-Fi connection. You have exposed your IP address. Your IP address is basically it's like an ID that's connected to your phone. So most people have these methods of using their Wi-Fi connections to gather data about you. So usually what they do is they can find out where you are just from connecting to the Wi-Fi. You've connected to the Wi-Fi, they can access your geographical data, they can access so many of your personal details. They can know, okay, this is Abigail's phone that has connected. This is Abigail's Apple ID, for example, and this is Abigail's Gmail that she's using just from connecting to a Wi-Fi hotspot. I mean, to a Wi-Fi connection. So it's very important, guys, to not just join any Wi-Fi. Okay, I'm in town and I've decided, let me just connect because the Wi-Fi is free. Be careful. Be very careful, because that way this is how stalkers get away with what they do when they're doing it, because they have access to your data just from Wi-Fi connected devices. So yeah, that's it on privacy and security. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is being safe while using social media. So social media has come as a wonderful tool to connect people from everywhere, from different geographical locations. It has also been created to enhance the marketplace. It allows business owners to connect with their customers and share information, share what they're selling, their goods, their services, and people can access them just by a click of a button on their phone. So social media is one of the best tools that have come to us in terms of the internet and its entire existence. So in terms of using social media safely, the first thing that I want to talk to you about is about the privacy settings. So many people, for some reason, don't take the time to check out what these social media platforms have to offer. Social media platforms have so many options. You can choose to hide your like count, for example, on Instagram. You can choose to make your account private, you know. So you can always make use of the privacy settings that social media platforms have to offer. A lot of people ignore them, but it's very important that you check them out. You can always check how to, you have like, I've noticed that many people don't know how to use the report feature. We have the report feature on almost every single platform online. So when you report someone, you allow the internet, the host, the user to identify a person that is maybe out here providing some harmful activities, and you save people from the risks that come with, you expose the user, for example, that this user is a scammer. When you've reported them, the more they get reported, the easier it is for the social media platform to remove them from attacking more people. So it's very important that you check all the privacy settings that the social media platforms have to offer. And then in this way, you not only protect yourself, but you also help your fellow colleagues to understand, to be safe while using the internet. It's always important that you update your privacy settings and check often. If there's a new update, you should be able to use them. The internet, the social media platforms are always getting updates where they offer new features like, oh, now you can make your profile picture only visible to your followers, things like that. Those are very important tools that we should be able to use. So it's always important that today, for example, today you should go through your Facebook privacy settings, check them out, check out what they have to offer. They have so many security options that can help us. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is how to manage your online reputation. So I don't know if you guys know this, but the way you share your information online is the way that people are going to see you. So for example, you are what you post. Is in as much as you think that people don't believe it, that is exactly how people are going to see you. So if, for example, I am a business owner and I want to show myself as a serious person or someone that is respected, there's no way that I can be posting things that don't align with what my business goals are. You need to create a you need to create a view or a version of yourself, for example, that's only available on the internet so that people can perceive you of how you want to be perceived. So usually what you post can influence how a potential employer looks at you or a customer looks at you. And usually it's very important, for example, if you're a business owner, to be posting reviews. If you're going to post a review, like, okay, as a new user, when I go into your account and I look at it and I say, okay, people do really get what they asked for, what they ordered, or what they want is what they get just from what I've posted. So it's always important to post what you want to be perceived in. If I'm a model, obviously I have to be a content creator. I have to always be posting things. Or if I'm going to be a content creator, sorry, for example, that means I have to post things in line with content creation. There's no way I can be posting something different. People won't perceive me as a content creator if I'm not posting things along that side. And it's also important that you don't, in as much as you share much, don't share everything. For example, usually a hint that I usually like to give women is, if I'm going to be at a specific public area and I post about it, I usually post about it like after I've already left the place, you know. So I can't have people saying, oh, they've seen my story and now they have access to where I am. I don't usually recommend that, because you never know who's stalking you like that. You know, there's so many people that are interested in your life more than you know. Like, that's one thing that I've noted about this internet world. There's always that one stalker that just wants to know what you're doing. And even when you stop publishing things online, they'll come and say, oh, is everything okay? You stopped posting. Like, okay, why do you care? You know? So that's one thing that I noticed, that when you're posting, always be mindful of what you post. There are people that actually care so much about what you do online. So another thing that I'll talk about is about online trolls and bullying. So usually when we post things, not everybody is going to be positive about it. There's always going to be a good side and a bad side. There's always going to be that one unnecessary user that decides to comment something that's going to maybe ruin your reputation online, or put you at a risk, or put you in a position where people don't trust you, or they start questioning your what you're providing online. So usually it's very important to make use of the block feature. The internet has given us report, block. You use these features to abusive users, guys. Do not be afraid to block someone. It's a very confrontational yet silent way to cut people off. It's always important that you block, you report users that seem offensive to you and seem abusive. It puts them in a position where they cannot have access to you just anyhow like that. So yeah, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is fake accounts, catfishing. So fake accounts. When you go online, right, and you see somebody has DM'd you like, hi, my name is Precious, for example, I'd like you to model for my agency, whatever, and you check their account and they have like so many, like the ratios. Okay, for example, an account has a ratio, in case you didn't know that, it has a ratio of followers, following, the people that engage with the account and the people that comment with the account, and what they're saying, it should match. If this person says, I'm from an accounting agency and I'm doing this, you Google the agency. Does it really exist? If it doesn't, obviously that's a fake account. You know, if this person says, hi, my name is Precious and I'm the owner or the CEO of something, I will go on Google. The first thing, guys, it's always important to Google people, Google information about that, confirm that what they're saying is true. So when you do that, you get to identify and you get to compare and you get to be aware that no, this account is fake, and you block, like I said, you block suspicious behavior, or you report suspicious activity. These are usually the accounts that when they have access to you, they now create a new account that now there's another Abigail somewhere on social media that also has my pictures. And in this case, that other Abigail is now, I don't know, an escort, for example. And now I'll be in town and someone is going to approach me and think I am Abigail, but like, because I've given that person access to my information, access to my account, access to my pictures, you've accepted them as your follower. Now they have your pictures and they're reposting as often as you post. So it's always important to identify a fake account just by looking at it, comparing the ratios, checking out for the signs in their profile information. Is it matching what they just told you? When I Google them, does that actually reflect what they are? So, and another thing when it comes to fake accounts, always trust your instincts. Like, that is something that we always ignore. Like, if somebody texts you and says something and you something just seems off and you're like, there's something wrong, trust it. Trust it. Don't ignore the signs. Always trust your instincts. So yeah, in terms of catfishing as well, that's also along the same lines. Catfishing is basically like when someone pretends to be who they are not. So usually you can always confirm them that, like I said, by checking their accounts, checking if the person is real, checking if what they're saying matches who they are. So that will be all from social media safety. The next thing that I'll be talking about is online relationships and dating. So the internet has made it easy for us to communicate with each other no matter how far we are, to a point where we can just build a connection from texting each other consistently every day, you know, having phone calls very consistently. So online dating really, for some people, they've met their soulmates because the internet has provided them with the opportunity to come up with online dating sites, things like Tinder. I don't know. I really don't know names of dating sites, but yeah, for example, Tinder. Tinder is the one I'm familiar with. But yeah, the internet has made that easier for us to connect with each other and exchange information in a much easier way. So in as much as it made it easy for us, it's also been something that is very harmful to the society. And most of us young girls usually fall into the trap that comes from online dating and online relationships. So the first thing, if you decide that now I'm catching feelings for this person, it's always important to look out for red flags. Look out for red flags. Look out for warning signs when you're coming into interactions with people online. You know, there's always going to be something that seems off. Maybe their communication starts tripping, it starts becoming inconsistent. Now, this person, you've only been talking for maybe 2 weeks, and now they're asking you, okay, for example, when you start talking to someone, yeah, and you talk to each other very often, now the first thing that they want to know is like who you stay with. Those questions are usually very creepy to me. Like, okay, who do you stay with? Where do you stay? What time do you get home? Now I'll question myself, like, okay, why are you asking me such detailed information? Fine, telling them I stay in, for example, I stay in area 49 in Lilongwe. That's enough for them to know. For somebody that I've just started talking to and I like, I would rather have myself know where they stay instead of them knowing where I stay, because it's always putting yourself at risk, especially for young women that are in the era where they're staying alone, or you know, it's always important for you to not share information that goes in along the lines of you being alone at home. Don't tell someone that, no, my parents are going away for the weekend, so I'll be alone. That is very risky. You're putting yourself at such a risk, because now this gent will start telling you, oh, can I come over? When they come over, do you know what they're going to do to you? No. So these are some of the things that are putting ourselves at risk. Always look for the red flags. If this person you're talking to is from a different city, maybe I stay in Lilongwe and the other person stays in Blantyre, and now I've decided, okay, our relationship is at a certain level where now I want to meet them. I go to Blantyre, and now they're making exceptions. I mean, this whole time everything was lovey-dovey. Why is it that now I'm in your city and you don't want to see me? Now I'll think, okay, this is a catfish, or this is a red flag. It's always important to see red flags right from the start. You can tell that, okay, this is a red flag. Maybe this person doesn't exist, or maybe this person is in a serious relationship, for example, with somebody else. So there's always a reason why people decide to hide or run away from the truth. And when you notice that something is off, always be able to identify that and be careful of who you communicate with online. So another thing is people like to manipulate us as women when it comes to when we recognize a red flag. For example, I'll give an example of the one where I go back to Blantyre and I decide, no, I want to meet this person, and now I've seen that something is wrong, and I'm telling them, okay, Why are you behaving like this? Now they'll manipulate and guilt trip you. In this day and era, we call it gaslighting. They'll start saying, why are you blaming me? You know, they try to make it your fault. You know, I don't know how these men do it, but they'll try to flip it in a way that you now think, okay, maybe I'm pushing them too much, or I'm asking for too much, or I'm pushing them too far. That's another thing that we should be careful of. A lot of men are very good at manipulating us in a way that we see the red flag, we highlight that we've seen the red flag, and then they twist it in a way that we think, oh, okay, no, maybe I'm just overthinking things. No, you're not overthinking things. You should trust your instincts. You should also always be cautious of individuals who are trying to manipulate you and question your God. You know, you're smart for doing that, and usually you've noted it. You've noticed the shady behavior, and they're so impressed by it that they want you to fall back, to step down low and be like, no, okay, this girl is smart. Let me try to confuse her in a way that, no, I'll still stay in whatever game they're playing, and you also stay confused where you are. So it's always important to recognize red flags and always be cautious of them when they happen. Another thing is to set boundaries. A lot of us set boundaries and then we change after. You know, we try to impress the other person in a way that we forget our principles and we discard the boundaries that we set. For example, if I decide, okay, when I'm meeting a person and when it's our first date, I would like to meet up in a public space. Maybe, for example, my favorite place is, for example, um, what can I think of? Maybe there's a specific area that calms me. Maybe it's close to home, and this is my spot. This is where I would love to have my first date. And I say, okay, let's meet at this place. And this person says, no, we should meet at a certain area that's far away from your comfort zone. And now you have changed your boundaries. You have changed your original statement, and you're like, oh, okay, let me just go. No, do not change who you are just to impress or suit their preferences. Always choose to suit yourself first. Always communicate what you want for yourself, the person that you are, and the person that, if someone is going to come into your life, you should always communicate what your preferences are, what your limits are, what they should and shouldn't do. And if they end up doing what you say they shouldn't do, that's breaking your boundary. You don't accept that. You don't tolerate that. A lot of people get treated badly because they accept what they do to us, you know. So in a situation with men, or whatever gender you decide to associate yourself with, in a situation where you're communicating with them and they cross your limit, you should always let them know that this is not how I operate. Okay. And they're not the only people in this life. The world has so many billion people. You can always meet somebody else in a few months, in a few weeks. It just happens in sync. So it's always important that you be mindful of people that try to cross the lines that you set, and don't allow them to breach your areas of safety. So in terms of how you can protect yourself, I've listed some of the tips that we can use when it comes to online dating. For example, if you want to meet up in public, I usually have to pick a public location if I'm meeting someone that I've been dating online, or somebody that I've met through the internet and now we're finally meeting up. I meet them in a public space. Another thing is I share my location. I share my location. I always keep my location on my phone on. My phone is always charged, guys. You cannot meet somebody new with a phone that's on 15%. Are you crazy? So there's no way you can go and meet a totally new place and your phone is almost dead. Like, what happens if it's not what you expected? How are you going to solve the situation? Always keep your phone charged if you're meeting someone new. Always keep your location on. If you want, you can share your live location with your best friend, with somebody that you trust, with your family member. Always your keep yourself connected. Tell somebody, okay, I'm meeting this person at this place. And if you decide, for example, to move from where you were, it's always important to share such little detail. Okay, we were at this place, but now this guy has said we should go to this place. Update someone that you trust, your best friend, something. I don't know, put it somewhere where someone else can access that information in a way that you can always stay safe when you're meeting someone. Another thing is, when you're talking to someone, always make sure that you check the platform that you're using. Like, there are so many dating sites that exist that people just create. Creating an app is so easy these days. So some people just create these apps just to gain personal information about people. So always double check if the dating platform that you're using is reputable. Always confirm that. Google it, like I say, Google it. Verify the profiles. If this person says, oh, he's a 28-year-old engineer, Google the engineering company. Usually people's LinkedIn's are in sync. If you start working for an organization, some way, somehow, that information, that data is going to be put in their company registry. It's going to be available online. Google, double check. Okay, he said he's an engineer. Now you're sad because he's a carpenter or he's a taxi driver. That's because you didn't double check the information. So it's always important that you double check, arrange safe meetings when you're meeting people online. When you're coming up with, when you're signing up for things like dating sites, always use a different email address. I usually create a different email address for specific activities. Maybe this email address is for signing up for like online stores, and then the other one is for dating sites. And usually try to have a separate number when you're connecting, or maybe when you're signing up for these unnecessary details. Don't have your professional number connected to an email address that's just for dating sites. No, don't do that. Also, when you're meeting people, usually people that suggest or ask if you drink, those ones are shady. So always stay sober when you're meeting somebody new. Always stay sober. Never leave your drink unattended. Never, guys, I'm pretty sure Don't put yourself in a position where it's risky for you to even be around them. And always have an exit strategy. Fine, I am with a person for the first time, I've met them, and now they're doing things that are scary or things that are suspicious. I will tell my best friend, call me and tell me I have to go home right now. That's an example of how to keep yourself online safely. So you let them know, okay, I need to go, and then you leave. If they have a problem with leaving you, okay. Also, have a backup plan. Like I said, have an exit strategy. If they don't solely depend on somebody that you've just met for the first time. If you're going to meet someone in public, always have transport back home. Your backup plan should always be there. Your phone should be charged. Your internet bundles should be sufficient. Don't say, I can't leave because I don't have a data bundle. I can't call someone. I can't WhatsApp call someone. That's a very bad example of how to handle yourself in case of an emergency. So it's always important that you always have these strategies and methods available. I have explained these in detail in a certain course that we'll have available on Digital Skills for Africa. But because of time, I can't explain all of these in detail. I'll just head on to the final part, which is about reporting and support. But if you want to go into more detail of how you can handle online dating and some of the tips and the strategies, some of the red flags that you can see just from get-go, you can access that information on our Digital Skills for Africa platform. We have a course that's very detailed about what I'm discussing right here. So anyways, I'll go on to reporting and support. So usually when these things happen, you have the option to report. To report is to like let it be known that there's this harmful person out here. There's this harmful space, guys. You're telling your friends, you're not only protecting yourself, but you're telling more people, you're making more people aware that, okay, there's this harmful space that you guys shouldn't be in. If there's a specific website that you've decided that it's okay, it's shady, share it on your Instagram story. There's this specific website that does this, please don't fall for it. Because if they manage to get to you, they can also manage to get to your neighbor. So it's always important, guys. If fine, you've missed the trap, you've successfully gone through a situation where you were at risk and you have successfully gotten out of it, share it with others. It's always important to be a testimony to others so that other people can be aware of these harmful and unlawful activities that go on online. The aim is to make the internet a safe space. So when you report people, it's always important to do that so that we can stand together as a community to bring that dark side of the internet down, because it's really making things unnecessarily hard for us women, especially in the digital landscape. So some of the options that we have when it comes to reporting: in terms of social media apps, we have the report section, like I said, where you can report a user. It's not going to be known to them. It's between you and the owner of the account that, okay, now we're going to report this person, and they're going to be put out there that this person is a red flag. They can stop their scamming activities because of one testimonial that you made that, okay, I think this person does this specific thing for a living. They stalk women, they bribe them, or they steal their personal information. Once you report them, the internet is aware. The internet now becomes aware that, okay, let's check this person's activity, the way they handle their conversations online. So the more you report the same account, the greater the chance for them to be brought out, to be shut down, to be stopped from doing that unlawful, unsuspicious activity, especially to women who are online. Um, the other thing is to document evidence. For example, like I said, if you're going to go out and meet someone, share your location. That's an example of evidence that you can create. Share your live location so that somebody can always go for reference and say, okay, this is the information that I have to back up what I'm saying. Because people will only believe what they see. They only believe, even if you decide, okay, let me report this person, where's the proof? They can always clear the chats, they can always pretend like you never existed in the first place. So it's always important to have receipts, always important to have evidence, to have proof that, okay, this really did happen to me. So please take action against it. So yeah, the other option is to utilize legal and law enforcement resources. This involves government officials. Maybe we have like the police. We have people that offer counseling services. Lawyers, always get a lawyer if you've been robbed, for example, if you've been scammed. Maybe you bought an iPhone for like, and they've run away with your money. Always have the receipts, you have the evidence, then you take it to the law enforcement, like, here you go, here are the resources that I have, shared with them, and then they can always help solve your problems. Guys, another thing that I've noticed, that we're so used to the internet, the movies saying that the police don't do their job. Guys, these people actually do their job, and you'll be surprised of how efficient they are when it's you. People only say that when it's out there, but when it's you, if you're in a situation where you need help and you are at a risk of cyberbullying or cyber threats. The police are constantly trying to prove themselves to the world and to the internet, especially because they've put it out there that the police don't do anything. Trust me, they can find that person. It may take like 2 or 3 months, but they're going to find out who they are, especially if you give the proper documentation of what you've been experiencing. You'd be surprised. Many people don't get away with being harmful online. It's not a joke, and the police don't play with such information. So if someone is stalking you, or you feel like this person is doing something shady, has stolen my money, you report them to the police, and they will, trust me, they will sort it out. They will deal with them in a way that you will be so surprised, you'll be so satisfied with what they'll have to offer you after you've reported them. So yeah, always make use of the police, the law enforcement, lawyers. They will do the job for you. They will make sure that those people don't bother you again. So lastly, we have support options. So the internet also has like agencies. It has community groups, support groups out there where people can come together. I've listed like 2 or 3 of them in my presentation. These agencies specifically target people like that. And if you go on the internet, you can actually find a large list. You should usually check in the business directories of your country. So usually those have a list of so many agencies which you can use. You can Google them and see which one aligns with your preferences, with whatever harmful issue that you're experiencing, and then you can explain that, okay, this is what I'm facing. You explain, you can help each other in your community, in your digital group, where people can come together, offer each other emotional support. You can also seek counseling. Maybe someone has stalked you to a point where you've just lost your stability, you've lost your natural self. So always talking about it in counseling also helps. And like I said, there are also online community groups which I've listed in this presentation. So yeah, that's basically everything that I wanted to share with you. So this session was basically about how to understand what online safety is in terms of creating privacy and security. We've also talked about how to deal with online dating, how to use social media in a way that's safe, and the reporting and support methods that we can use when it comes to being in the online space. So yeah, that brings us to the end of the presentation that I had prepared for you. I hope this was really insightful, guys. Like I said, I have the information in details in a course that we have on our Digital Skills for Africa platform, which will be available to you. I should email you guys the link to the Digital Skills for Africa course, where you can be able to access the detailed version of what I just shared with you today. Thank you guys for your attention. I hope that it was very helpful. If you guys have any questions or have any queries, please let me know. I also wanted to let you know that when you sign up for the course that I just talked about, you will be able to gain a certificate. So we do have certificates available after this session. Where you can say, where you can highlight that you've been a part of this insightful session. So that'll be all for me. I will leave the floor to Nyasha if you're still here. All right. I think Yanko, if you're here, you can speak now. She's my colleague. She's also going to be sharing information, more information about today. I think Nyasha's not. Oh, okay.
No, I'm here. No, I'm here. I don't know if we have any questions. We can take one or two questions if people want to ask. I see the comment section was also, the chat box was quite vibrant. People were asking questions, but if you've got a question that you feel like you need to have it answered or addressed, can you please just unmute yourself and then you can ask, or you can type it in the chat and then we can respond.
Jane, you can speak.
Hi, Abigail. Thank you so much for the opportunity to ask this question. I actually have two questions. So, firstly, I'm from Malawi, and I recently heard that there's a project ongoing about digitalization where they are sort of installing Wi-Fi in various offices. So in the offices as well, does it mean that if we do end up working in such spaces, we should be careful in terms of how we use it? And does this also, even though it is a good step in digitalizing, does this also make us vulnerable again as women in these areas? So yeah, I wanted to ask about that. And secondly, my question was on creating strong passwords. On Google, if you use Google, it would sometimes ask you if it can remember or save your passwords for you. Should we be saving our passwords onto such platforms? Because, you know, when you create like different passwords, you tend to forget some of them sometimes and you no longer have access. And so this was sort of put in place so that we have access to these accounts. But is it safe for us to just sort of upload all our passwords onto Google? Or is it safe to just have one password across all our different accounts, or should they be different every time? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Jane, for the question. I'll start by answering the first one. So, in terms of company space, when you're connecting to a company Wi-Fi, for example, or when you're using your device to connect to uh, uh, Wi-Fi or internet connectivity that is provided by the organization, I do think it's safe, but it's always extra safe for you to connect using a VPN. Every phone right now, it's just because a lot of people have not really learned how to use the VPN feature, which I will explain how to do in my course on the Digital Skills for Africa platform. But you always have an option to switch to using a VPN. It's usually organizations are not into doing such data. You can always trust a Wi-Fi connectivity provided by an organization because that's most likely to be legitimate. So in this case, you can connect to your organization, but you never know who in your organization is deciding to stalk you as well. You know, some people are hired privately to find out information about you. So it's always important that you always use VPNs when you're connecting to public Wi-Fi's. But in this case, if you're going to be using an organizational device, don't just log into when you log into your devices, for example, don't save the data, especially if you're in an organization. If you're going to sign in every time. The importance of doing that is because maybe one day that device is going to stop working and now you have to switch to a new device and now your data still remains there. So somebody else can also come in and decide to have access to your WhatsApp chats, for example, or to your Google Drive, your Google Photos. and it's just left out there in the open. So it's important to always, when you're signing in, always make sure that you don't sign in for good, which is also connected to the second question that you asked me, that is about saving passwords. So when you sign, it's okay, when you create a password, the aim is for you to always remember what you've created. In my case, I have 3 passwords that I use across different platforms. So for example, like that, there's the slide that I showed you that had one with Piri, the Grace Piri example, for example. Maybe Grace decides those are the 3 passwords that she uses all the time. So every time that she's going to sign into a specific device, she memorized those 3 passwords that she created. So in every chance, in any circumstance where she's trying to log in, she'll interconnect the 3 specific passwords that she created. So it's always important. I really don't suggest for people to be creating a password that they will forget. If you want, write it down somewhere, or yeah, write it down somewhere, maybe in a notepad, or maybe in your wallet. You should have a little, I don't know. Okay, no, that's a very bad example. But like, have somewhere where you can put it down, or have it stick in your mind where you can always remember. So if I enter the first one, Grace Piri, with the @ and the 3, it doesn't work, I'll switch to the second one. I'll enter it. If that one doesn't work, then it's definitely going to be the third one. So usually the internet gives you, I think, 3 maximum chances for you to enter a wrong password. So when you use those 3 always, often, it's less likely that you're going to forget your password, because those are the only 3 that you're familiar with, and those are the only 3 that you always use when you're coming to when it comes to signing in. Don't save your password on a device that you're not sure about. Like, fine, it's a work computer and this is my desk. There's no reason for you to save your personal information to always just synchronize. Maybe one day I'll fall sick and I'm not at work, and my colleague is going to sit there and log into my computer. They'll see my details. So it's always important to also check the device that you're using when you're connecting to the to the account. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Jane.
Thank you so much for that, Abigail. Anyone with a question will take maybe one more. You can just unmute yourself and ask.
Hello, everyone. Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay. My name, I'm from Malawi as well, but right now I'm not in Malawi. So I have a question. There is something that happened with my Instagram. Okay, so someone sent me a message on WhatsApp with a screenshot of their Instagram account. And on their Instagram account, there was my phone number. So the person sent me my phone number through my WhatsApp now, like sending me a message to my WhatsApp number. And I the Instagram page, I saw that there was my number on the description of it. I don't know what happens in that case. Like, how does it happen? And what can I do? Of course, I blocked the person, but I don't know what happened for my number to be found on someone else's account.
Okay. Is your phone number, was your phone number inactive, for example, for a while?
No, I was using it all along. It was not inactive.
That's strange. Okay, that's very risky. That's very scary. I think you should contact your local service provider. In this case, that is either, depending on the network that you use, if you use Airtel, for example, or you use TNM, let them know that, okay, this is what has happened. Maybe there's a situation where they've they deactivated your account or gave your phone number to somebody else, they should always find a way to help you, be in a better position where they can't access your phone number, because that shouldn't even be possible to use a different number. Maybe their SIM card was it's an error with the internet service provider in that case. For them to be able to use an account using your phone number, that's a serious offense, and it should be sorted out by your service provider. But in terms of the Instagram account, I mean, in terms of your whatever account this person is using your phone number for, you should always check your account information. You should check the phone numbers that are attached with your account. So it will show you there's this Facebook account linked to this number, there's this Instagram, this Twitter account linked to this number. So when you check such details, you can always remove some of them. So I suggest you check your account information and also contact your local service provider. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Abigail, for answering the questions. Let's keep the conversation going. I'm sure if you've got any questions, please reach out to the Digital Skills Africa team, as well as Rita Foundation on their WhatsApp, on their Facebook, Instagram, or even LinkedIn. Maybe Abigail, you can also put your email in the chat box, so that if anyone wants to contact you, maybe with a personal question or just to keep the conversation going, they can ask. And if you're also in the WhatsApp group that we had created, we'll leave it open up until the rest of this day, and you can just ask Abigail questions. She'll also be in the WhatsApp group, and then we will later dissolve the group. So please, let's keep the conversation going. And lastly, just some parting words would be, if someone is harassing you online, if someone is holding you ransom, maybe to pictures that they have of you, if you feel that you're not safe online, please let us report, get some assistance. Don't let someone hold you ransom online. And let us be vigilant, ladies, and let us be careful whilst we are online, how we portray ourselves. It matters. The digital space was created for our good, but like I mentioned, it can be a very bad experience being online. So let us be careful. I don't know, Abigail, if we can do a group photo and everyone can just turn on their cameras and we can just do a group photo if that's okay with everyone.
All right.
Please, can we switch on our cameras and just give a smile, 2 minutes, and then we can close off the session. Are people turning on their cameras? I'm not sure. Can you assist, Abigail?
I can see some cameras on. Yeah, we have.
Are you able to take a screenshot?
Logger, can we have a screenshot taken? But we also have a recording of this session, so I think we can always extract a screenshot from there.
Okay, no, so that's perfect. Thank you so much for that. So I think we can call it a day. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.
Yasha.
Yes.
We have another speaker.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Yanko.
Oh no, my apologies. She can definitely go ahead. My apologies. Please don't log out.
Yeah, Yanko, I think you can speak now.
Hello, everyone. I'm the next speaker. So my name is Yanko Gantugulo, and I am also part of the DSA team. I'm a DSA trainer at the Entire Foundation. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was going to take you through about digital literacy and online threats. So since we have little time, I'll make it quick. Yeah, it's going to be quick, short, and sweet. Let me share my screen. Okay, so as I said, my name is Yanko Gantugulo, and I'm also a DSA trainer at the Entire Foundation. So I will take you through some of the digital literacy skills that you need to know when you're navigating online, and also some of the threats and how you can safeguard yourself to those threats. So since we have little time, I will just go straight to the slides and straight to the information that I have to share with you today. So in definition, digital literacy is about the ability to navigate through digital environments, and also you should understand how to mitigate risks that are associated with online interactions and everything that you do online, whether you're putting up your information online or you're just navigating through the internet, anything that you can do with the internet. So digital literacy, just means you should be aware of the risks associated with it, and threats and vulnerabilities that you're putting yourself through, or the risks that you're prone to meet when you're navigating through the internet or you're putting information on the internet. So in this case, digital literacy means you should know digital skills, and you should be information and data literate. Also, you should know media literacy. So, okay, I should explain each one of them. So digital skills, on a basic definition, this is like you should be able to use computers, smartphones, or the internet safely, and you should be able to evaluate credibility of online sources. That's information and data literacy. You should be able to know that this is misinformation or it's fake news, understanding that it has bias in the media and the information that is provided. You should also be able to understand different types of media, like text, messages, videos. You should be able to analyze that this media or this information is trying to manipulate, or it has some propaganda in it. So can you see my screen, guys?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So some of other pillars of digital literacy, you have to know about privacy and security, and which is knowing in full of how to protect your personal information online, like what Abby has presented, and also understand all the privacy settings and privacy setting privacy concerns that social media platforms are offering, and you should be able to use them to protect yourself, to protect the information that you're putting about yourself or about anything that you're putting on the internet. You should also know digital communication, which is basically effective email communication, understanding how you communicate with other people online, and how you collaborate and network with other people, or how to use platforms that are used for collaboration and networking. You should also be aware of digital citizenship. This is just responsibilities and ethical behaviors that you have to do whilst online, whilst navigating through the internet, and also being responsible of everything that you look for, or everything that you post, or the information about yourself, information about anything you're trying to tell people about you, or about your brand, or about maybe an organization you work for. So you should be able to take responsibility and make sure everything you're putting online is ethical with your personal brand, or an organizational brand. And on digital literacy techniques that you can use throughout, knowing digital skills, having media literacy or digital citizenship skills, you should be able to use strong passwords, like Abigail said in her presentation about making strong passwords for your accounts or maybe emails online. You should also be able to create two-factor authentications for your accounts and everything. You should also be able to use the privacy settings that are offered through social media platforms that use, or communication channels that you're using. And also beware of clicking links. A lot of us just go on with any link that comes to maybe in our DMs, or through our emails, or through any communication channel, that if a person sends a link, we immediately go to it. Like, we want to see, we're so curious about everything that that is coming with that link. We should be able to know that clicking links can put you at risk, and put your identity at risk, and put information about you at risk, because attackers and a lot of people are trying to get to you, or they're trying to get information about you, they're trying to steal from you. So some of the links, treat them suspicious. Don't just click them or go through with every link that comes to you. So we should be able to know that clicking links that are suspicious, or any link, make sure you treat it suspicious, because you never know, it comes with malicious activity that could destroy your identity, or that could steal your information. And also should be able to know that everything that you put online, it can forever be there. And in cases where, for example, you were a bully online, you were bullying people, people can come up with a digital footprint of everything that you've been doing. They can look you up on the internet, and they will be able to use that as evidence later on. So make sure that what you're putting on the internet, it reflects your brand, it reflects yourself, it reflects your identity. Because if it goes, if it's wrong, or if it's something that can come back to you in the wrong way in the future, that would be bad for you, for maybe career building or brand building on the internet, digital marketing. So those are some of the techniques and digital literacy skills that you need to know. And yeah, make sure you know them, and you have you follow them whenever you're putting information about yourself or about anything on the internet, because everything that you put on the internet can come back to you at any time, and maybe it can cause harm, or someone can use it against you to blackmail you or something. So why we need this is why we need the digital literacy skills, techniques, and We need this because we are trying to understand online behavior. We're trying to understand how other people think. We're trying to understand that not everyone is using social media or communication channels or the internet the right way, like how it was supposed to be used, but we're all using it for different purposes. So we're trying to understand how different people are using it, or how different people are trying to put themselves on the internet. So everyone should be digital literate, because yeah, you should be able to understand how other people think when they're posting their stuff. And also you should be able to recognize warning signs. For example, in cases where we have cyberbullying and harassment. So if you're digital literate, you'll be able to understand that, and also to recognize that this may be a comment on a post, or this message, or this text, or this post, they're trying to bully someone, or they're trying to attack someone on the internet. So if you're digital literate, you'll be able to recognize such signs that this person is trying to attack this person, or this post is trying to destroy somebody's image. And also, being digital literate, it could also help you with your digital communication skills and ethical decision making. It will help you to in digital communication skills, it would help you to build your maybe your it will help you with your something like English. Maybe it will help you with learning other languages and making ethical decisions. If you're digital literate, it would help you with deciding whether this thing is right to follow. For example, in the case of cyberbullying, if you know and you can recognize and you can understand signs of bullying and harassment, that would help you to make a formed decision to help the person that is being attacked, or maybe the attack is coming to you. It would also help you to make a decision that will help you to protect yourself from such attacks. And also this can help with empowerment and resilience. So for a person that is you're out there trying to build yourself, and someone will just come attack you, knowing how to come back to that person and respond, knowing how to come back to that person and respond with maybe the right response, or you're trying to protect yourself from them. So now you know how to go through. Now you know how to okay, I'm sorry. Empowerment and resilience. If you're digital literate, your skills about digital skills and understanding signs, or knowing signs that could help you protect yourself from any attacks or cyber harassment that you can meet online. It will help you to protect yourself or protect others, and also be resilient enough to go through the bullying, and to be able to protect yourself through such attacks. It means you'll be able to protect yourself, and you'll be able to withstand all the bullying, all the harassment, and everything that comes with attacks that happen online. So another thing that we'll talk about in this online threats that we can meet. Well, navigating through on the internet or communication channels that we use. So in a definition, online threats can be anything that can endanger you or as an individual or an organization on the digital environment. So most of these threats were already talked about, like the phishing, impersonating, cyberbullying, or social engineering. So not only these that you can meet, but most of these are like threats that you can meet as an individual mostly, but there's more to threats that you can meet on the internet. For example, if you're a person in tech industry whereby they want you to have a website or something, you can meet phishing attacks, you can meet social engineering attacks. They're just trying to steal from you. They're just trying to get information that they could use maybe to blackmail you or to gain access to your accounts. And basically, most of it is to steal. So these are some of the things that, some of the threats and the most common threats that we can meet as individuals or maybe as an organization or as employees of an organization, so that the attackers, what they gain is what they are trying to steal. So if you're digital literate, you should be able to know that this is a phishing attack, or this person is trying to impersonate me, or with this comment or with this post, this person is trying to harass me or cyberbully me, or this person, the way they've approached me with how weird it is, this is a social engineering. So how you can recognize those threats, it can be agency and pressure. For example, in social engineering or phishing attacks, most attackers, they pressure you to give them your maybe your login credentials for some, or maybe for your social media accounts, or for your banking details. Also, they would make repetitive negative comments about, maybe you're an influencer and you post a lot about yourself. Attackers could make repetitive comments, negative comments about you or what you post or everything about you on the internet. So this is how you can recognize that this person is trying to attack me, this person is trying to harass me, this person is trying to destroy my image. And also, in most of the attacks that we meet, some of the people, they have like wrong spellings and grammar errors. For example, if a person is trying to send you a phishing email, they're trying to steal something from you, they're trying to steal your credentials, most of those emails or most of the content of the email may have wrong spellings and grammar errors. That's how you can recognize that this email is not right. Or maybe for example, in an email that has wrong address to, for example, what you know, or what you know that this is legitimate. So if a person sends you an email with a lot of wrong spellings, or maybe just a wrong email address, you should be able to know that this should be treated suspicious and it can be a threat, and maybe they're trying to steal from you. So yeah, that's how you can also know that this is probably a threat. And also attachments and links. For example, more of in the emails or maybe text messages that we're sending each other nowadays, we should be able to treat every link or every attachment that a person sends as suspicious. And also with knowing that this maybe email address is not right, and everything that is associated with that content of that email can be wrong, or it can be something that will have a negative impact on you or your information that you put on your on the internet or your social medias. And another thing that you can recognize threats can be unexpected pop-ups or redirects. Unexpected pop-ups like maybe adverts on your social medias, or maybe on a legitimate website, or maybe redirects that are abnormal, that are very unusual than the normal way that that website works. That's how you can recognize that this website doesn't really redirect most of the times when you visit it, and on that particular date that happens, or you have different pop-ups that don't make sense. So yeah, we should always treat those pop-ups or redirects as suspicious, and that's how you can also recognize that this can be a threat, or this can be a risk, or someone maybe is trying to impersonate a legitimate website or legitimate ad so they can gain access to maybe your account, or yeah, your social media accounts. And how you can respond to those, most of these ways are just like how Abby presented. So a few options that you can use, for example, on your social media platforms, you can block the user right away. You can report them, or you can report you can report the abuse to the platform owner. And also, you should always remember to save evidence, for example, bullying and harassment, of any attacks that you meet. And also, you should always avoid retaliation. In this case, always make sure that you refrain from responding to that attack, or that person that is trying to harass you, or that person that is trying to destroy your image, because that can maybe escalate the situation, or maybe they can prolong the harassment. They will continue to come back to you and harass you, make negative comments about you, or make they will continue to make negative comments about everything that you're putting about yourself online. So always avoid retaliating. Yeah, and also seek support, whether from a trusted friend or family, or maybe emotional support and guidance, or websites that are offering support to those maybe who were harassed online, or maybe who went through any attack that can happen whilst using online platforms. And I'll also take you through how you can build resilience when you're using digital platforms. First of all, we have to increase digital literacy. So in this case, you engage in you can engage with groups or online chats that are offering to teach you or educate you about online safety, privacy, and securing measures to help you protect yourself from threats. And also, we should cultivating a support network. So cultivating a support network, this is about also engaging with online communities and forums that could help you to safely share your experiences with others. And you can also share on ways on how to protect yourself and prevent threats, or maybe recognize threats as fast as you can. And also, we should be able to limit exposure, limit how you share your information, limit how you put yourself at risk, especially online. Limit how much information you put about yourself online. Limit how much, basically what information about yourself what you put online. So be mindful of the personal information you're sharing, ensuring that only necessary details are the ones you're sharing, not everything. Maybe your exact location where you stay or where you are at that moment. You should limit what you're sharing on online to minimize the chances of you becoming a target or someone trying to attack you. And lastly, we should also engage in positive online experiences. This can help you with this can help you to create safer and inclusive online environment. Like I said, where you can learn about how others overcame their maybe cyberbullying or harassment and how you can help yourself to overcome it. Yeah, that's basically what I had on digital literacy and online threats and how you can build online resilience for yourself as a person, and also a person that is using maybe a lot of social media platforms, social media, communication channels, or using the internet maybe to learn, or basically since everything now we're doing it online. So yeah, I just wanted to take you through some of the digital digital skills that you need and techniques that you need to know when you're navigating through the internet and social media communication channels. Yeah, that's what I had. And if you have questions, you can put them in the chat or maybe raise your hand. People, are we still here?
Yes, we are.
I guess silence means everything is very clear, Uncle.
Okay. So I can see that no one has a question. It means you've understood. So
I think then we can hand back over to Nyasha. Is Nyasha still online? Maybe then for some closing remarks, if everybody is clear.
Hi, Abigail. I'm still online. Abigail, can you hear me?
Hi, Nyasha, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I think we've completed the coursework. So we wanted to know if you want to have some closing remarks. From our end, the teaching materials will be available online on our e-learning platform, digitalskillsforafrica.com. And to get certified for having taken this training, the trainees will have to take the course online and complete it and pass, and then they'll be certified automatically through the platform. Otherwise, we can hand over back to you, Nyasha. Hi, Nadesha. So you have to go on to digitalskillsforafrica.com. I think the team sent an email with the course link. So get online and go on the e-learning website, and it is the same course. So you take the course to make sure that you understood everything that you learned here. At the end of it, you would take a quiz, and after you pass the quiz, you automatically get certified by the e-learning platform. So that's how the certification will work. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Nyasha, are you still online? Are you able to make some closing remarks, or should I? Okay, it seems Nyasha is struggling. So okay, Handa Manduri, I don't know if some of you joined a bit later. I'm the founder of the entire foundation. I'm also the founder of the Digital Skills for Africa platform. We're so glad that you could join us today, and I hope it was productive. Please do feel free to get on the e-learning platform. All the courses are free because we're trying to get Africans, and specifically African girls, online and safely. Take this course and take any other course that you find on the platform. They're available and for free and accessible to you all. And you will be certified for each course that you take. And you can also take some of the past workshops that we've had if they interest you. So thank you so much for joining us today. And all of this will be available online. We'll send you an email with all the details and everything. Thank you so much and have a good Saturday. Bye.
Thank you.